partly true and then quietly filling in the rest. Think about the last time you made a decision and felt completely certain that you were right. Maybe you trusted someone or rejected an opportunity. That feeling of certainty is powerful, but certainty and accuracy are different things. Your brain is constantly processing enormous amounts of information and cannot examine every detail from scratch. To operate, it uses shortcuts. These shortcuts help you recognize a familiar face in a crowd or react quickly to danger. But sometimes those same shortcuts create mistakes. And the dangerous part is that you usually don't feel like you're making a mistake. You feel like you're simply seeing reality. Relying on these invisible survival shortcuts means the world we perceive is heavily filtered long before we are even conscious of it. This brings us to the first filter, confirmation bias. Imagine you believe people who are extremely confident are usually arrogant. One day, you meet someone new. They speak loudly, they talk about their achievements, and they interrupt someone in conversation. Your brain immediately starts collecting this evidence. But imagine that same person later helps an elderly stranger carry something heavy. You might notice the kind act, but your brain will likely discard it. Once a hypothesis exists, information supporting that hypothesis becomes much easier to notice. This happens automatically, without external manipulation. Two people can experience the exact same situation and walk away with completely different versions of what happened because their brains selected different pieces of information. The second filter is false and reconstructed memory. Most people imagine memory like a video recording, but your brain actually reconstructs it. Pieces of information are combined, details weaken, and later experiences influence what you remember. Think about an old childhood memory. You remember the color of the walls and who was there. It feels real. But ask yourself, which details came from the original event and which were added later by family stories or old photographs? This is why eyewitness testimony is so complicated. A witness can be completely sincere and still be mistaken. Confidence isn't proof, and even a vivid mental image can be a reconstruction. Our present biases dictate what we see, and our emotions rewrite our past. This creates a personal history that is constantly shifting. The third filter is the availability heuristic. If you watch several news stories about sharp attacks, you begin thinking they happen all the time. Your brain misjudges the statistical probability of rare events simply because they are emotionally dramatic and easy to remember. From an evolutionary perspective, this made sense. Remembering a local animal attack kept you alive. But today, your brain receives thousands of dramatic examples every single day from all over the world. A single emotional story can outweigh thousands of facts. When an event is easy to imagine, the brain treats it as highly likely, which is how fear spreads so quickly. The fourth filter is loss aversion. Someone gives you $100 and you are happy. But if someone takes away $100 you already had, the psychological pain is significantly harsher. Once something becomes yours, the endowment effect artificially inflates its value. This is why people stay in jobs they hate or remain in relationships that no longer work. The thought of losing what has been invested becomes more powerful than the possibility of gaining something better. Marketers weaponize this vulnerability. Phrases like "last chance" and "offer ends tonight" create urgency. The product hasn't changed, but the possibility of losing the opportunity makes it feel more valuable. The disproportionate, emotionally driven fear of losing what we already hold frequently overrides the logical pursuit of new gains. The fifth filter is cognitive dissonance. Imagine you believe you are a very honest person, and then one day you lie. This contradiction creates an intense mental discomfort. Your brain resolves this by searching for an explanation. Perhaps you had no choice, or they deserved it. We change our beliefs to match our behavior as a way of reducing psychological discomfort. This makes arguments difficult. If admitting a new fact means admitting a personal failure, the brain treats the information as a threat to the self-image rather than a simple piece of data. The sixth filter is pattern recognition. Wearing a specific shirt before a success can lead your brain to connect the two. This stems from an evolutionary mandate to find connections in order to predict the future. Historically, assuming a rustling bush was a threat kept you safe. In the modern world, this tendency to see connections where none exist can lead to the creation of baseless conspiracy theories and false patterns. The seventh filter is our misunderstanding of the future. Humans are notoriously poor at predicting their own future emotional states. Due to hedonic adaptation, both extraordinary joy and devastating heartbreak eventually normalize. The brain is an engine constantly recalibrating to its baseline. The brain's need for consistency and patterns forces it to invent stories that feel true rather than processing the raw complexity of objective facts. Confirmation bias, reconstructed memory, loss aversion, all these filters reveal that your brain is designed to help you navigate reality efficiently, not to provide a flawless, objective picture of it. You cannot fight your brain, but you can apply intellectual humility. When you are certain or extremely angry or convinced everyone agrees with you, pause. Ask yourself what evidence could prove you wrong. This awareness creates distance. The moment you recognize your brain might be using a shortcut, you create an opportunity to step back and make a deliberate choice. Your brain is not your enemy. It is the most powerful tool you possess. But like any powerful tool, it requires your constant, conscious supervision. By recognizing these shortcuts as they happen, you demonstrate a unique psychological ability, the capacity to step back and question the very brain that is trying to convince you. The most dangerous bias is the belief that you are immune to them. Now that you know what to look for, you can begin to see these hidden tricks in your relationships, in your decisions, and your own thoughts. Stay with us as we continue to take apart the machinery of the human experience. This is Gurvion.